One. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in my favorite place, Batavia, Ohio, here at the MCC Cincinnati Pro-Am Karting Championship here. It's going to be a fun one going through. It's been a short time since we were back for round 3, and it's time for round 4. It's time for more action. It's time for more excitement. It's time for, well, more karts, the things you know and love here on Kart Chaser Grassroots. And right now, it is 206 Masters and Super Masters out on track, running through this beautiful national circuit at a track that should be up into the 80s today for air temperature. Rain's been in the area going through yesterday, and it delayed practice a little bit, but either way, today should be fun. This is a Sunday of racing to kick off round 4. We don't come back here until July for the Pro-Am Championship, where it'll be rounds 5 and 6 for the Summer Speed'em Fest, which is always a good time. But of course, we have SCUSA Supernats and the Row Tax Championship coming through in June, which is why we don't come back for Pro-Am until July. Masters and Super Masters qualifying just concluded. It's myself, Brad Dalton, up here in the booth with Patrick Coleman. Mr. Coleman, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very good, thank you, Brad. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time here as the Super Masters and Masterclass just got wrapped up here with qualifying. And next up will be probably one of my favorite categories on the day. It'll be the 206 Juniors up next. So we got a lot of fantastic competitors today, and we have a lot of fantastic racing up ahead. So looking forward to it today. Love this track, and we're back on a really fun layout, being the national layout. So I think we're in for a really good show here today, Brad.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We are in for a great bit of competition through the day here, and let's talk through our schedule as it sits. It'll be kicking things off, of course. 206 Masters and Super Masters just concluded, and then from there we go on to 206 Junior, as Patrick said, coming up next. From there, we go on into 206 Senior, and out of 206 Senior, we'll take on 206 Cadet Qualifying. Then we go to the Shifter and the Junior Shifter show, and then from there we switch over to the KA package. It's Master, Super Master, then it's Mini Micro, then it's Junior, and then we round things off with KA 100 Pro Am. They do have the Burrell Art N35 Cup as well here on the Class Go. As we set things up, we get ready to party and we get ready for things to get exciting here through. Again, as I said, Patrick, we don't come back again until July. It's Summer Speed'em Fest, July 3rd, with a Saturday night barbecue and fireworks. And yes, that is 4th of July weekend that we'll be running some hard competition through, and I can't wait to see how that plays out. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty good for that one here as we get ready to roll our next category here of 206 Junior. Karts are starting to roll here in this class. As we take a look at the 206 Junior category of entries, we've got Liam Richter, Homer Heeman, and Kason Bathen. Your 3 entries as I show them on the category, and well, 206 Junior is always very competitive.
Yeah, it is a hyper competitive category, probably one of the most competitive categories on the day here. So it should be a lot of fun to see how these drivers go ahead and give it a go here. Homer He-Man is a driver that he has been around quite a few times here. He was here for the most previous rounds, and he has done pretty good. In the Battle des Cartes Day 2, he got first place in the junior shifter category. And in the 206 junior category, where he is racing at this current moment, he ended up in P3 out of 6 drivers. Best lap of 107.850. So he's going to look to continue that strong podium run form here today.
It's going to be a good day for him going through. And of course, remember, if you're taking a look at things as they sit, we have to talk about the championship a little bit here as the karts roll. And well, that championship is very much competitive and is going to be a close one here. And of course, remember, if you're looking here this weekend on Kart Chaser, we've got several events going on. We've got, of course, the Apex Midwest Karting Championship kicking off round 1. And well, that is not ideal to spin out this early going through. Just testing the tires here, trying to do what we can here for Kason Bathen. Just trying to find the pace of the tires, get warmed up, and well, again, it did rain last night here, Patrick. So grip definitely on a green track sometimes kart tires just don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, we've covered a good amount of sim racing to know that cold tires on a pretty fresh track, especially a track that recently just had all that rubber washed off due to rain, is usually a pretty slippery ordeal. So it'll be, I'm sure we'll probably see quite a few drivers struggle to find that grip. But as we go on with the day, the temperature is going to get up to about 84 degrees here Fahrenheit throughout the day. So this track is definitely going to dry out. As the track dries out, as there's more grip onto the surface, then the track will most certainly go ahead and feel a ton grippier, with Carson Bathen going ahead and setting the inaugural fastest lap of a 120.907 here on the day so far.
And that time we know will come down quite a bit, of course. If you have joined us here, we appreciate you taking the time to join us here live on Kart Chaser or Trackside. There's a lot of racing going on this weekend. Of course, CKNA Canadian Grand Nationals in Mont Tremblant are going on here for their Sunday sessions. And then, of course, Apex Midwest Karting Championship Round 1 over in Newcastle is live as well and currently racing in. But of course, if you've joined us here in Batavia, Ohio, we do greatly appreciate you being here and enjoying the competition and enjoying the fun here in track side. Coming through here, Homer Heeman, a 1:11.603, putting in the current fastest lap. Liam Richter still in second, with Kason Bathen holding third. And at this point, you know, Patrick, whenever you are in this category, you've got just over a minute left, and all three of these carts are very spread out. There's no drafting buddies, nothing there. It's really the pressure is on you to find the best run. So what do you do kind of if you're in the situation, nobody ahead, nobody behind? How do you set up and just find the best time on your own?
You just kind of have to run your own line. Just stay consistent, stay focused. And I mean, honestly, I'd prefer a track that's just kind of wide open like this. So you could just keep going, stay focused, and really just worry pretty much about yourself. Um, Carson, or Kaysen, sorry, he just improved quite a bit. Homer He-Man improved even more now. So Homer He-Man, with about 30 seconds left to go on the clock, tops the times with a 1 minute 10, 6:32. That is the time to beat. Carson did, or Kaysen, I don't know why I'm seeing another R there. Kaysen Bathen did improve there a bit as well. He is only 1 second behind Homer He-Man. And Homer, we know he's a very competitive driver. His resume practically speaks for itself. He has gotten, so far in 2026 alone, he has got 4 separate wins. So far in only 3 different rounds, he has picked up 4 P1s across 2 different classes. So, I mean, he's got a very strong resume already.
Homer He-Man, currently your points leader by 20 points as it sits, with drop rounds included, over William Richard, with Evan Frey in third, Elijah Matson-Vigas, and Lincoln DeCoster in fifth on your 206 junior points. Coming across the line here, checkered flag is out, and your qualifying results as it stands, well, Kason Bathen will be on top. Homer Heeman has completed their final lap, with Liam Richter coming through now to finish the final lap. It's 1:12.8 last time across. Coming across, improves to a 1:12.3. Not good enough to improve ahead of Kason Bathen. Homer Heeman coming through to go through, and that is your 206 junior qualifying done and dusted. And it is Homer Heeman, Kason Bathen, and Liam Richter, your 3 up. So that is 206 junior done and dusted. Now we shuffle over to 206 seniors next. Patrick, taking a look here at the 206 senior category, Randall Potter is currently 10 points up on Emily DeMaster. Will Wilkie, Adler Klein, and Addison Ianello are going to be the top 5. AJ Roderick is in 6th, Braden Heber in 7th, as these 206 seniors get their carts fired up and ready to go. here for the day. They are looking to roll out here as soon as the track is cleared through. And your entries in this 206 senior category as they stand, we've got 8 drivers. Gavin Deeganhart, you see Braden Heber there in the number 8 going through, and right behind will be the 3. The 21 behind that is Tanner Gorman, Gage Butler, Adler Klein, Vince Krasuski, William Speck, and Ace Roland here. You've got a lot of really strong karts in this category, and I got to wonder, taking a look, who's your pick on the day here, Patrick?
Ooh, that is a pretty tough one, honestly. The driver that we have been kind of expecting a bit more of, just considering his resume, is Braden Heber. So I think Braden Heber is going to have a bit of a redemption arc here today. He had a pretty rough one 2 weeks ago at the Padella de Karts. So I think he's going to have a pretty good run here today. That's going to be my pick.
We'll see how that pick comes to fruition as the karts are allowed to roll on track here. 5-minute qualifying session. You get 5 minutes to put in the best lap you possibly can, and that is what settles out your day. And if we take a look at the warm-up times from this morning here, they were running in 206 senior. A 1:29.04 was the best time that was found, and that was from Ace Roland going into the jump. But times were very up and down the board. I don't think these times from warm-up are going to be very representative of what we should expect. Coming through here, round into the 3rd sector of the track. This is where things are going to start to prep in for a run out of 15 into 16, and down the front stretch we go. This is a 0.95 mile, 16 turn track, and this is how this lays out here. Left-hander of turn 1 very quickly sweeping through, and already we see battles up at the front. Down to the inside we go as we're looking for passes. That is Roland and Klein up in the front, who are having a little bit of back and forth. And in 206, it's so important to carry momentum here. And Patrick, what we see right now, I would argue is maybe slightly opposite of carrying momentum when you're side by side through turn 2.
Yeah, especially because these karts really rely on momentum to really get the most out of them. You really want to try not to be impeded in any shape, form, or way here. So especially when you have that run from turn 11 down the hill coming into turn 12, you really want to carry as much momentum as possible coming into what I like to call the Barcelona corner, as it is very reminiscent of turns about 2 to 4 at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain. Very similar, probably maybe a little bit of inspiration drawn from that historic European circuit, as we already see a tuck-in to try to maximize the aerodynamics, as our first lap times will be set here on the board. And Braden Heber, he tops the times right now by just about half a second. After the first lap, a 109.369, just about a half a second ahead of the number 85, Vince Krasuski.
Vince Krasuski holding on through. Already have a warning issued for avoidable contact to Gavin Deeganhart. So that number 3 kart needs to be a little careful going through. Very clearly something race director Seth Stridle saw that he was not a fan of and has issued out that warning already. And, well, Patrick, we talked about this. Race director already issuing out and saying tram lines are going to be a big topic of discussion today. They were a big topic of discussion last time we were out, so it's going to be interesting to see how that topic of discussion continues along today and, well, what these karts really end up with, because it's going to be a case that I think tram lines, I hate to say it, are probably going to play something in. And the more I look back and think about round 3, the more I remember how much the tram lines really affected things. We had McCorkadale in the 206 Master Supermaster who took a penalty on the Sunday for tram lines. So that was one of our big tram line penalties. And then you had some big contacts and big tram line penalties going along. We, of course, had Alex Kutcher have an engine failure at the white flag of the K100 Junior Final. And that was a big moment going through. In 206 Senior, we, of course, had AJ Roderick, who, well, his weekend last time was not ideal. He was DQ'd from the pre-final and had to fight his way up as much as he could in the final. And, well, that was a fun time going through all the way along. But, yeah, tram lines I know are going to be talked about, but tell you what, race director definitely paying attention to things here today.
I feel like tram lines have been like kind of one of the big stories of the entire championship so far. I think every round they've had to make a special mention of doing what they are supposed to. So I understand 100%, especially as someone who works at a go-kart track. If you want to keep everything organized, you do have to enforce the rules a bit. And I mean, especially for some of these guys, you know, it may be their first event, their first championship. So I know the nerves are there. So, but you really just got to be on top of it as qualifying does come to an end. Braden Heber still ahead of Vince Krasuski, but only by 1/10 now, as it is a 1:08.344. That is the top time right now in the qualifying session. So we will see if anybody can usurp him from his provisional pole position spot here. As the checkered flag is out, coming across the line now. Adler Klein will jump up into P3. Braden Heber stays in P1 for the time being. Will anybody usurp him? The answer seems to be no, but there are some positions that have been traded out here.
Position swapping through here, and as we look at the final results, Heber 1:08.344 sets the time. Krasuski in second, Adler Klein third, Ace Roland in fourth, William Speck, Tanner Gorman, Gavin Deeganhart, and Gage Butler, your 8-206 seniors. We're going to take a quick step aside here. When we come back on Kart Chaser, it is time for 206 cadets to get their qualifying underway here in Batavia.
Another Kart Chaser driver fitness episode with me, Chris G. Today, I'm going to show you how to protect those ribs in the seat. We're doing core. Exercise number 1 is the bench leg raise. Controlled all the way down, full range of motion. Make sure you pick up that tailbone off the pad. Coming down, controlling. Great for the lower abdomen area and obliques. Floor slider mountain climbers, exercise number 2. Exercise number 3, the plate-loaded decline bench sit-up. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Chris G Coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Karting isn't just speed. It's control, precision, freedom. At Atlanta Motorsport Park, Kart Freedom isn't just a team. It's where drivers are made.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
3, 2. Welcome back, everybody, here in Batavia, Ohio at MCC for the Pro-Am Karting Championship here live on Kart Chaser. 206 cadets currently out rolling with about 3 minutes left in their qualifying. It's myself, Brad Dalton, up here in the booth with one Mr. Patrick Coleman. Patrick, it is always great to see 206 cadets, our youngest category here going through, ages 7 to 12 with 265-pound minimum weight. They always tend to bring us some of the best action.
Yeah, it's a really punchy category. A lot of these youngins love to go ahead and give it their all. They pretty much just focus on just speed, like strategy. I mean, they're still learning a lot, and I mean, honestly, they're probably at least 5 seconds quicker than me on these karts, that is for certain. So it's always a lot of fun. Oh, there's a spin there in the back. He's gonna try, and he will get that kart back rolling again. The red and white kart there just having a bit of a spin here. It is still a pretty slippery track, not very well rubbered in at this stage. There was a good amount of rubber in, but overnight rains washed pretty much any rubber that was there from the weekend, just washed it straight away. So it is still a pretty slick track here at the get-go of this event.
Absolutely, and there was a delay yesterday running through as they were going along. They extended practice 1 hour yesterday. There was a slight discussion about what to do here today, and well, things rolling today as on schedule here at MCC. Drew Schneider up at the top of the qualifying time and up at the top of the point standings right now by 45 points over Sam Hornish in second place. Right now, Sam Hornish is fourth on your timing tower, but of note is only half a second back, and actually, scratch everything I just said, is now half a tenth ahead of Drew Schneider. Sam Hornish 109.621, Drew Schneider 109.675, with Kai Schipper with a 109.712, and Harrison Bell 109.865. So you've got a lot of competitive times here in this cadet qualifying coming along, and these karts, very similar setup. They're going to run through. You have Schneider and Schipper that are currently running together, and you see there nose to tail, and it is the number one of Schneider taking advantage of the slight slipstream to head down the front stretch. 45 seconds left to go in qualifying, so they'll cross this lap plus one more. We'll see if any times can be found here as they'll come across the line with about 30-ish seconds to go. And let's see what Schneider can do here on the back of the 99, coming down the front stretch right there, nose to tail, holding along, and look over the shoulder. One of the things the cadets always tend to forget is the fact that they aren't necessarily racing and qualifying, but Schneider able to get to the top, 109.1, with Schipper a 109.3. Harrison Bell now up to 109.4, so Sam Hornish needs to find a bit more time here coming onto the final lap, Patrick.
Yeah, he's definitely got some ground to make up here. But if anyone could do it, I believe that Sam Hornish really could. I mean, he's just under half a second back. We'll see how that time settles out as the checker flags are out. So once everybody crosses the line, that'll be their final time. So it's going to be a very competitive run here. I mean, the top five, excuse me, separated by just about a second, as Carter Beard and Caden Tracy do go ahead and wrap up their qualifying. And so we'll see how the rest of the times do go ahead and get situated here. Drew Schneider currently leading, but as we've seen before, the whole timing order could pretty much get flipped right up on its head as drivers go ahead and make their way through for the final couple of corners here on the racetrack. Checker flag is out. Once they cross the line, that'll be their time. And we'll see how the times do get updated here as all the drivers make their way to the line, and it doesn't look like there'll be any positional changes. The times will get closer now, the top 5 within a second of each other, but it is still Drew Schneider leading with a 109.179 to get pole position here.
That is a very competitive setup here to go into the pre-finals. So one of the things to remember is that the pre-final will be 8 minutes plus a lap, and the finals this afternoon, which are ready racing, starting around 2:45 p.m., those will run as ready racing 10 minutes plus 2 laps. So that'll be exciting to get to sit in and see how those play along here and go through. We are done with 206 cadets. Let's shift the order here now really quick. Next karts up is going to be the shifters and junior shifters. You see that pun? You see that pun I did? I'm not saying I did that on purpose because I totally did not.
I know you too well, Brad. I know 100% that was fully intentional, and I'm only jealous that I didn't think about it first.
Listen, I mean, when the opportunity presents itself, you have to take it sometimes. And every once in a while, that just means that you get to say or do the goofiest of things that you could possibly say here as we are getting ready to run in our next category. They're all set up, waiting to roll here, waiting on that green light to turn on here at the end of the pit lane. And one of the things I really do like about this track here, Patrick, is the fact that it's not a bunch of flags. They have the modern green light system here that will turn on and blink through. And, well, let's get these carts ready to roll here as push starts are rolling and we're getting carts ready to go. One person having a little bit of a time getting rolling, and we get the next category up and ready to roll through. And again, pro and junior shifter, your next categories out. And let's talk about the entries here as it goes. Kyle Foe up at the pro shifter with Tyler Abel, Riley Pegram, Brian Decker, Fred Robertson, Doug Duff, and Jeff Carroll, your pros. Drake Williamson, Kai Park, Robert Lash, and Homer Heeman, your junior shifters here. And, well, Patrick, what is it that makes a shifter kart so unique, and why do we keep saying the word shifter? Why don't you explain?
So, they have gears, so you actually have to shift gears. It is a sequential shifter, so kind of like in some modern road cars that have a kind of a manual, where if you move the shifter knob up, it goes up a gear. You move it down, it goes down a gear. Pretty much the same thing in these shifter karts. So you, unlike the other karts that we have racing here today, where they pretty much have the loud pedal. You pretty much got one speed, go. This one, you have multiple different gears, so you actually have to shift up and down depending on which quarters you're going through. So a much different task, and you actually have to take a hand off the wheel to grab the shifter knob to change it to a higher or lower gear. So pretty close to some other forms of motorsport like NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, etc.
Watch that right hand, because that right hand is where that gear shifter is at. So that is going to be what really gives you the indication of who is going into what gear. And so that will be your area to watch. You'll see that right hand. If it yanks there to the right, that is the shift up and down as these karts are now out and rolling, and they are going through. Pegram currently up leading this pack going through. Robertson, Duff, Kyle Foe, Homer Heeman, currently your first junior out on track. There is the number 72 Burrell Art cart of Riley Pegram going along. If you don't remember last time out, well, it was a absolutely wild run for Drysdale, who is not here this weekend.
Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate considering that Drysdale had a really strong weekend last time out about 2 weeks ago. But hey, it gives a chance for some new competition to go ahead and step up, and we'll see who can take his place. Riley Pegram so far leading the top of the times, but the only sub 1 minute time on the board with a 56.414 on the board. The only sub 1 minute time in the pro shifter category. And the closest time is Fred Robertson, who is 4.3 seconds behind with a 1 minute 8:03. So Riley Pegram really setting the pace very early on here in the session.
I'm just doing a little bit of looking back here because I was curious to refresh myself. So I'm looking back at round 3, which was Battaglia de Kart Day 2. Of course, the Sunday 2 weeks ago, May 3rd. And just to refresh everyone on the weather that day, it was 50 degrees whenever these karts ran out with a real feel of 60. It hadn't rained in a while. The track was really rubbered up. They were running 54s. Well, Kyle Drysdale ran a 54-second lap, I should say. Kevin Simonelik ran a 58 flat for qualifying in the pro shifter category last time out. Homer Heeman ran a 59.8. Right now, Homer Heeman is at a 1 minute 1. Kai Park is at a 59.8. And Riley Pegram is at a 54.6. So we're starting to see those times continue to move through. But even though the track is a little green compared to last time out, it seems like these karts are really finding some good pace and continuing to improve on their times as they go along and continue through here. Less than a minute left to go, and, well, times are still coming down here.
Yeah, and then Riley Pegram's still the class of the field at the moment. And just a little bit of background on our current provisional pole sitter. Riley Pegram is a Michelin Pilot Challenge driver in IMSA, running the number 72 Honda Civic Type R TCR, which I love the TCR class, mostly because Hyundai is in there, and I drive a Hyundai. But still really cool to see somebody of her age just getting a really fantastic shot in motorsport. I mean, Brad, I know you and I are really big fans of IMSA, so anything IMSA is going to be really awesome to see. And just looking at some of Riley's karting stats, Riley came second in the pro shifter category in round 1 here of the MCC ProAM Kart Championship, and has had a pretty good standings. 24th out of 44 karts in the 2025 SK USA Super Nats last year. So some really good results here, and that impressive pace continues to show itself here as Riley is still 2.6 seconds ahead of the rest of the field as the checkered flag falls.
Checkered flag falling out here. Riley Pegram, driver with SCUSA experience. Fred Robertson holding second. Pegram coming up to finish the final lap on a 54.546 last time through. Will this time improve? Typically, we do see in these 5-minute qualifying sessions last time, best time, and a 54.591. So it does not improve, but on the 5th run of the circuit, Riley Pegram able to set in a very quick pace here. 2.6 seconds ahead of Fred Robertson. Doug Duff in 3rd, Kyle Foe in 4th. Kai Park will round out the shifter junior category. Homer Heeman there in 2nd, sitting about a 10th behind Kai Park. Shifters are going to pull in here, and next up on the circuit will be the KA100 Master and Super Master ready to roll. They are waiting on their time to get released, and they will be out on track here in just a moment. Next kart's beginning to roll onto the track here. And again, this is your KA 100 Master, Super Master category getting ready to roll. And let's talk about the drivers as they roll through. Last time out for the KA 100 Master and Super Master, it was Paul Meese who ran through and took pole. There was a mechanical failure from Chris in qualifying on the outlap. Chris Kutcher, specifically, who I am referring to. If you are not a MCC Pro-Am aficionado going along on the track here, of course, you have Andy and Chris Kutcher who love to show up and just have a great old time here, and they tend to really be some of the knowns here running through, and they have a lot of great time here in the KA 100 Master category. They have tons of experience going through, and well, we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, with the Saturday, Andy and Chris were .004 apart, but it was not a uneventful weekend for Andy and Chris Kutcher as we have our karts rolling along and moving through here into their day, getting our Sunday of racing underway here for your Master and Super Master qualifying. We actually do not have Andy or Chris here today, Patrick. Let's talk about that for a second here. Damian Jennings, Greg Lay, Neil Hamilton, Corey Curry, Jared Tracy, and Paul Meese, your entries here in the Master Super Master category. This will be an interesting one to really watch and see how it plays through. Qualifying should be close because practice was fairly close.
Yeah, we know the coaches were very strong, very dominant in the last two rounds. So seeing them here, or seeing them not here, actually it's gonna make things interesting, because it's like, you know, say back in like 2023, if Max Verstappen just didn't show up to a race, it was like, okay, well, who can win now? It's gonna be kind of a similar thing here. We'll see who can go ahead and really get a good win here, and it is going to be Jennings going ahead and top at the times right now. Damian Jennings only ahead by about a 1/10 of a second ahead of Paul Meese. So really good, really competitive lap times here to kick things off. A 1:02.297 is going to be the time to beat right now in the KA Super Masters, or sorry, KA Masters. And this should be a fantastic run here from these drivers. Looking forward to see it, and actually almost the entire field, with the exception of the KA Master of Corey Curry, is within a second of each other.
Going to be interesting to watch the times come through here on this KA 100 Master Super Master category here. The IME engines giving a little bit more power than the 206s and producing a bit more of a run along here. Paul Meese, 101.990, finding top of the timing tower, and you see Greg Leahy make that Neil Hamilton to the top. 101.933, finding up in the times here. As far as the points sit, let's talk about the standings for the Super Masters. Chris Gorman currently in 206 Super Masters, but of course, if you look at the KA 100 Super Masters, it's Paul Meese currently leading over on the run, with Chris Kutcher having the run in 206 Master over Andy. Of course, again, we said Andy and Chris aren't here, so that opens things up for Jared Tracy and Corey Curry to try to find some times through. In the Super Master category, it is Paul Meese over Damian Jennings, which is currently who sits second and third. Greg Leahy in fourth, but Neil Hamilton able to find top of the timing tower right now, who is currently last in points. That is a good development there. Of course, Neil Hamilton missed out on 2 weeks ago on the Saturday of the Battalion of Karts, was here for the Sunday, was here for round one, is here today. What can Neil Hamilton do? Because it's still a very competitive field in the Supermaster points here, a quarter of the way through the season after today.
Well, Neil Hamilton certainly is looking extremely punchy here. He's only 0.003 of a second behind Damian Jennings. It is a 101.797 to a 101.8 flat is currently the time to beat. So we'll see how he can do here. He's looking really punchy here at this stage of the day. So it's going to be a very interesting rest of qualifying. It is going to be 10 seconds left to go on the clock, so once they cross the line, it'll be checkered flag. We might get a bonus lap. Maybe not. It's going to be too close. So qualifying is done and dusted. A lot of the field is going to come across the line now to see where their times are going to go ahead and sit. Are we going to see any changes? Gerard Tracy jumps up into third. So very good times there. Paul Meese is done as well. Gerard Tracy currently in P3. And we'll see here as Neil Hamilton does cross the line. He's still in second, as the last car will be Corey Curry to come across the line. We'll see where he sits. He does improve by just about a second, and that is qualifying in the Masters and Super Masters done, dusted, and delivered. Your results here on the day: Damian Jennings, Neil Hamilton, and then it is going to be Gerard Tracy, Paul Meese, Greg Lay, and Corey Curry rounding out the KA100 Master and Super Masters qualifier.
And at that point, with a 3-millisecond gap between first and second place, we're going to take a step aside here. When we come back on Kart Chaser, it is going to be just a few more categories to go. Next up will be Mini Micro. We'll be back.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
You know, I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayCara.com. At ShopPayCara.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopPayCara.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Kart Chaser for live coverage here of the ProAM Karting Championship in MCC Cincinnati. It's myself, Brad, joined by Patrick here going through, and it's Mini and Micro Swift currently out on track. 3 minutes left to go in their qualifying session. Min Lewis up at the front with Kai Skipper in second. Brogan Wren will be leading in the micro category right now, running third overall. And then you have Jackson Frank, Sam Hornish, and Griff Heeman. Currently the 6 karts out on track. Patrick, this young category going through, of course, running the IME engine package. You have the micros age 7 to 10. You have the minis age 9 to 12. We throw them all on track together, and you tend to see some really good racing all the way through.
Yeah, this causes a blast to watch and just see how they go through. The thing with these younger drivers is that they will take risks that the older, more experienced categories won't exactly take. So we could see some really spectacular moves here, because pretty much their whole mentality is just, I'm faster than you, I'm going to go to get past. So that's why we may, kind of like what we saw earlier with I believe it was the 206 cadets, where we saw even some near overtakes happening during qualifying. So it looks like the quality field is a bit spread out here at the moment. The only karts that are relatively close to each other is the 142 of Jackson Frank ahead of the 111 of Sam Hornish. Right now, Min Lewis currently on the top of the times with a 104.8 flat. So currently just 1 second ahead of the rest of the field here.
Min Lewis here, we watch going through on the run in the Burrell Art Kart, having a great competitive run so far this season. But as we look at the points as they sit in the Mini Swift, Min Lewis currently tied with Sam Hornish in points as they swap back and forth in round 2 and round 3. Both of them have round 1 as their drop round, so they are tied at 580 points. And last time out, if you don't remember, it was in qualifying Hornish over Lewis, over Wren, over Heeman. And then Hornish and Lewis came into contact on the final lap of the final on Sunday, and that gave Hornish the win over Lewis. That is why they swapped places. They had a good gap built up, and then there was some fighting for position. There was contact side by side, and that is where that came through. And then, of course, on the Saturday, it was all the Min Lewis showdown going through. And well, this is a category that I think traditionally our main thing is just getting their starts going. We talked about the tram lines, Patrick. It took 4 times to get started in the pre-final 2 weeks ago when we were out. We'll see how that conversation goes today. There was, of course, the drivers meeting this morning, so I'll be curious whenever these karts get ready to run in their go for their pre-final. We're looking at the pre-final for Mini Micro about 1:30 p.m. Eastern, so about 2.5 hours from now. How will these Mini Micros work through? Because sometimes they're just so ready to go.
Yeah, they are always ready to rock and roll. They are always incredibly punchy whenever they do come out to a track. So, and I mean, they're young. They have that enthusiasm, and enthusiasm is a fantastic thing to have. If you're motivated, if you're enthusiastic, you are going to have some really good results here. Min Lewis currently on the top of the timing table with a 104.385 as the Czechoslovak has fallen for qualifying. Kai Schipper currently in P4. Griff Heeman on top of the timing table for the Micro Swifts here with a time of a 109.121. Brogan Wren will round out that field, and then Sam Hornish will be P2 and Jackson Frank in P3. Min Lewis looking very strong here today. A gap of just under a full second. 9.21 tenths of a second. And once again, your qualifying order here is going to be Min Lewis, Sam Hornish, Jackson Frank, Kai Schipper, Griff Heeman, and Brogan Wren rounding out the Mini Swift and Micro Swift qualifier.
Great to see all of these karts coming through. And remember, if you're watching us live and you want to follow the action through the day, I mentioned the pre-finals coming up. If you want to follow us through for the pre-finals and finals, make sure you become a Kart Chaser Premium member on YouTube if you are not here on track. It is $9.99 a month. Make sure you do that from Android or your PC, because if you do it from an Apple device, they tack on a $3 Apple fee. So $9.99 a month. You can follow all of the action here live starting at 11:45 a.m. for the pre-finals and the finals. And not only that, you get all of your Kart Chaser coverage live. That includes the CKNA Canadian Grand Nationals going on right now. Their main events are on Mont Tremblant, Quebec. You have to be a member to see those events live right now. Right now. And then, of course, the Apex Midwest Karting Championship. That is going to have their main events going on this afternoon as well from Newcastle, Indiana. And if you want to see all of that live, you've got to be a Kart Chaser member as well. It's $9.99 a month, supports everything we do here at Kart Chaser. And, of course, you get to see all of your favorite drivers on track live as they race. Next kart's rolling out here, KA100 Junior. And Patrick, as they get ready to roll this KA100 Junior category, this is going to be one to take a look at and talk about that championship as it sits, because it's Ben Gleiberman who currently leads the KA100 Go as they sit. And so Ben Gleiberman leading in the points going along as they get ready to move their way through. With Homer Heeman in second, Kai Park, Alex Kutcher in fourth, Robert Lash, your top 5 in points as they get rolling and get ready to go right now.
Yeah, it should be a interesting one. This class is another class that's always really fun to watch, so looking forward to seeing how this one pans out as the KA100 juniors are going to go ahead and get going. It's our penultimate qualifier, which is crazy how fast time flies when you're having fun here in Batavia, Ohio. It's very fun. And as the cards go ahead and go out, penultimate qualifier of the day. Next up, we do have one more category to go, and that is the KA100 Pro-Am. So, should be a good time here, but before then, the juniors are going to show us exactly what they're made of.
Juniors going over the bump, down the hill, heading towards turn number 11, as they always tend to do, or out of turn 11, I should say, down into 12. You see bouncing in the seat a little bit through 15 and 16, trying to find a little bit of pace here as they move their way through. And that is one of the things that can be really important, is kind of bounce on the seat a little bit, find a little bit of pace, try to do what you can here as the karts are rolling. That was Robert Lash up at the front in this KA100 Junior qualifying session. Caleb Tracy out there as well. Blake Martinez, Kai Park, Lila Beck, Homer Heeman. Your 6 entries that will take you through the KA100 Junior category here today. And we'll see how they play along. As I said last time, in the points, it's Ben Gleiberman up in the top. Ben Gleiberman not here this weekend for round number 4. So it'll be interesting to see who can capitalize on that one here, Patrick, as they go. And, well, warm-ups this morning for junior. Robert Lash was top of the times with a 102.7. I still think those times have a little bit more to find. It's always interesting to see how warm-up compares to qualifying, though.
Yeah, because, I mean, even if the rain was not a factor that happened last night, the track gets more rubbered in as the day goes. You can even see, depending on where you're looking at on the track, you can see some marks where some rubber has been laid down. So the track just progressively gets grippier as the day goes on, something that we like to call track evolution. So it does get a lot grippier. So there's definitely more grip on the circuit now for the qualifier than there was during the warm-ups earlier this morning. So we'll see who can, like you said, Brad, we'll see who can capitalize the most here. Right now, Homer Heeman leading the field with a 101.392, just 3/10 ahead of one Robert Lash, who is currently sitting in P2 in the number 832 kart.
Be interesting to see how those times continue to come down here in this age 11 to 15 320-pound minimum weight category of KA100 Junior. 90 seconds left to go for these karts to find times. Glimpses over the shoulders around there for Caleb Tracy as Caleb Tracy crosses the line. Top 5 separated by 1 second currently as they sit. And there it is, Homer Heeman back across the line with a 1 minute .833, breaking into the sub 61 second times as they continue to try to find some pace here around Batavia, Ohio. This 0.95-mile circuit proves to be tricky for these karts at times. 60 seconds left to go on the clock as it sits, looking to see for these drivers who can improve. Homer Heeman, of course, well, you've heard Homer Heeman, you've heard Griff Heeman, you've heard a lot of the same last names through the day, and, well, we talk about this a lot, Patrick. It is a family affair here in karting.
And that's the beautiful thing about this, right, is that it is a family affair, and we love to see that. I mean, family is a very important thing. It's probably one of the most important things you can have in your life. I know my family is very supportive. They're actually watching the broadcast right now, so hi, Mom and Dad. So, yeah, family's a really important thing, and I mean, especially if you can just... It's such a cheaper, like, motorsport compared to other motorsports. Even, like, the cheaper categories, like the MX5 Cup, is still pretty expensive to run. So, being able to do karting, especially at a grassroots level, it's awesome. Especially when you have, like, siblings, like, moms, dads, everybody involved just in different categories. It could be a fun family weekend, honestly, as qualifying wraps up here for our penultimate qualifier of the day.
Qualifying wrapping up here. Homer Heeman still sitting top of the table with a 1 minute .5, a 1 minute .9 for Kai Park, a 1 minute .8 now for Robert Lash. Robert Lash able to improve on the final going of the lap. Only 4 laps put in here around this circuit for our competitors. And, well, Caleb Tracy will cross, holds in. Homer Heeman crosses, is not able to improve. Lila Beck will cross and not improve. Last card across the line will be Kai Park. Kai Park does not improve. Blake Martinez in the 8-11 now coming through the final quarter. We'll see if there's any improvement there for Blake Martinez. And Blake Martinez, hand up, just pulling straight in, will not complete the final lap. So in your K100 junior category, it's Homer Heeman with a 1 minute .545 topping the timing tables. Robert Lash second, Kai Park, Lila Beck, Caleb Tracy, Blake Martinez, your 6 drivers here running through. 1 class of qualifying left to go here on the free show, and then we step behind the paywall for Kart Chaser Premium to get some pre-final and final coverage. KA100 Pro-Am up next here on Kart Chaser. One more category to go here in the morning's qualifying sessions here at MCC before, well, we don't have a qualifying again for this Pro-Am Championship till the Speed'em Fest in July. And, well, why is that? I hear some people asking. Well, let's talk about the events going on in June here at the circuit. We'll just go between now and July 4th weekend. Let's talk about it. May 23rd, Munchkins and Masters Donuts, Karts, and Coffee from 9 to noon. Next Saturday. That is open to all cadet and kid karts age 5 to 11 in the Masters, 206, KA, and Shifter. And then, of course, we get into June 4th through 7th. It's Rotax Championship here at MCC with no competitor practice allowed Tuesday or Wednesday before the event. On June 11th through 14th, you have the SCUSA Pro Tour Spring Nats coming here to MCC with no on-track activities allowed Tuesday or Wednesday. And then the following June 20th, you have, again, your Munchkins and Masters, Donuts, Karts, and Coffee going on from there. And then we go into the 7th of July with the Rental Kart Rumble from 6 to 9 p.m. That's a Tuesday night, so if you're local to the area, that is a good event to get involved in. But You notice there's a lot of stuff going on here between Rotax and SCUSA. Where not a good chance to fit in that Pro-Am Karting Championship through, which is why that gap to July. And then, of course, after we run our July 4th weekend, we have Stars that comes in here. July 10th through 12th, we have the Clash at the Club. And then July 30th will be the CKNA Summer Nats at MCC. And then US Pro Kart Series comes in the first week of August for the Ohio Grand Prix here at MCC. Tons of racing through the summer. The summer karting season is in full swing. But right now, let's focus on track here at the KA100 Pro-Am category as they roll. Patrick, 15 drivers currently on the circuit to put in times in this category as they sit. Ages 14 and older, 360-pound minimum weight. And this is a category that every time they hit the track, we see some big competition.
Yeah, it's pretty consistently the biggest field that we have. So, and with a big field comes big action, as we see somebody actually riding a ton of coverage there. So it'll be interesting to see how this category plays out. Like we mentioned, it is consistently the biggest field. There's an overtake that's already happening here in qualifying. So you can already tell that these guys are already firing on all cylinders. A pretty small gap between P1 and P2 at the moment. Shane Hambrick just 78 milliseconds ahead of Will Stell, currently in P2, as a lot of drivers go ahead and set their next laps here in qualifying. The final qualifier of the morning, the KA100 Pro-Am qualifier, well and truly underway. And a crazy statistic is the top 10 are just about within a second of each other. So a very hyper competitive field here, arguably one of the most competitive fields we'll see all day here, Brad.
Yeah, let's talk about the points as they sit here. Logan Mueller currently leads by 35 points over Will Steele, the defending champion. Here's the thing to note, though. Will Steele, if we don't take in drop weeks, is at the top. The only reason that point swing is the way it is because Logan Mueller had a great time last time out, and Will Steele up in round 3 actually finished down the order a bit. So that is where things went through. As we have one cart off, that is one of the Burrell Art, that's one of the TKG drivers off. Cart is down. You see the smack of the steering wheel, and that is going to be that driver done here for the weekend. That looks like that is going to be through. I believe that might be Ryan Miller. We'll try to get a confirmation here in just a moment of which driver that is there in that Burrell Art cart who is out on the run. But up in the front, Isaac Gardner now up to the top over Will Steele, as these categories in the front of the field, they have dropped into a sub 60-second status now. You've got tons of the TKG Burrell Art carts out here and rolling, which is no surprise. Again, this is the home of TKG going through, and Will Steele, your defending champion, now up to the top, 59.662 with less than 60 seconds to go here, Patrick.
Yeah, 60 seconds left to go on the clock in our final qualifier of the day. Currently only two drivers at the moment have a time in the sub 1 minute range, and that is going to be Will Stell and Isaac Gardner in the 1 and 9:28 carts respectively at the moment. So 30 seconds left on the clock, and the entire top 10 now within that 1 second. Top 11 just about in 1 second here. So very close, very competitive field here. Will Stell is just about 2.5 tenths ahead of Isaac Gardner. So as the timer ticks closer and closer to 0, we're going to see the end of the final qualifying session wrap up here very shortly. And the times will definitely start to shuffle around a bit like a deck of cards. We'll see who moves to which positions. Alejandro Gallego, he's going to go ahead and wrap up. Brady Hebert wrapped up. Marcus Batson, Gavin Degenhart, Caleb Cerrone, all drivers who have finished their qualifying section. Max Klein moving up in the P5. And very good result there from the number 9-12. We'll see who is going to go ahead and finish here. The only ones who have not finished their laps are currently our top 4. Will Still, Isaac Gardner, Shane Hambrick, and Adler Klein will be the last drivers to come across the line. and we shall see who's going to be on top and who will not be as they make their way through the Barcelona corners here at MCC KartPlex. And they're going to make their way to the line. Who is going to go ahead and hold on to that pole position? It is going to be Will Stell, still leading the field, but this time by less than a tenth of a second to Isaac Gardner.
Absolutely amazing to see where the gaps are sitting here going through. Top 11 separated by 9/10 here as they go. So Will Steele will lead Isaac Gardner in the pre-final with Hambrick Klein, Adler Klein to be specific, Max Klein rounding out your top 5. Maker, Gallego, Blatt, Larry Pegram, and Braden Heber will be your top 10 here. And your final 5, Miller, Batchen, Deeganhart, Sircone, and Angelica will be your 15 karts. We're going to take a step aside. When we come back at noon, it is the pre-final for Masters and Super Masters here live at Batavia, Ohio. Remember, we're going behind the paywall, $9.99 a month to become a member, but we'll be back here momentarily live on Kart.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Hey guys, I'm Chris G. I'm Kart Chaser's driver fitness coach, and today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to strengthen your shoulders for more endurance and better stability in the kart. Here we go. Okay, so exercise number 1 is the front rope pull-through cable raises. Okay, now this is the upright cable row. What you are doing here is you're picking a straight bar, as you see, and we're working the side areas of our shoulders, the medial. Exercise number 3, the dumbbell shrugs. As you guys can tell, I like to pause at the top before releasing. It's great for your strength, for that wheel stability. It's great for those shoulders and that upper back area. Chris G coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do here. See you on the next one.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Let's go. Come on, man.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your